Hey everyone, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with another set of spooky, scary, dark lines. That's right, what are the scariest or best lines your villains have said? Part 5. Probably my best impactful villain line was this perpetually silent juggernaut of an assassin who served the main antagonist. Every encounter he had with the party, he never spoke a word at all. Not until the final fight, where he chose to take them seriously for the first and only time. And all he said was one word: fall. Have you ever thought about how, at some point, someone says your name for the last time?
What the hell do you mean by that?
I mean, that moment is now. Alexis, Ariana, Durtor, and Malikor. The fight starts, critical hits on his first attack, almost max damage. Nat 2 on the save, instantly kills Ariana. Oh, that's one more name for the list. I have a rule to never add more than 2 names in a single day unless I have to. I usually don't have to. I offer you to take the body of your friend and do with it as you please. If you deny, well, one of you 3 will not see another day. And the other 2 will have to carry a corpse each. Needless to say, they left with Ari's corpse. As a final mocking act, the big bad evil guy said, "Let her replacement know that I'm looking forward to meeting them." Can't wait for the party to meet him again. Here's a little context for the big bad evil guy, though. I've seen people think, well, this guy is a complete badass and all, but reality is much different. The truth is, many years ago, his true love was killed. An extremist group murdered her as a sacrifice to their god, and he now has to make a deal with said god to bring her back. The requisite this god offered him was to collect souls and names to exchange them for the girl's life. Well, he accepted. The thing is, he does not enjoy killing. It's something he has to do, but he knows how painful it is to lose someone, so he is very respectful about it. That is why he let the party keep the body of their friend. And I know I didn't make it clear, but when he was saying the names, he even sounded sad. He knew at least one of them was not going to survive, and that the others were about to lose a friend forever. He is the bad guy, but he's not necessarily bad. I have a pirate campaign. One of the evil forces is a very jokester-like bandit king. He has a knack for seeing magical valuables. A player who had previously raided one of his vaults and found a gold tooth that gives you a buff to persuasion rolls was speaking to him to figure out where a person who was very important to that character's backstory was hiding. The bandit lord basically said something along the lines of, hey, I recognize that tooth." It left the player shaking in their boots. An assassin that had been sent to abduct one of the party members. He came upon the party while we were being attacked by a bugbear and his gnoll underlings. He stepped in, rescued the party, then turned on us. When the party member he was sent after tried to escape, he was beaten savagely, and the assassin growled, "You're the first life I have ever willingly saved rather than taken. Do not make me regret that decision." My ranger named Sir Henry, he's also taken levels in fighter and paladin, but recently I've committed to making him a full ranger because, well, backstory reasons, was confronted by a hag he met in his past when he was much, much younger, who'd kidnapped his best friend, now wife, who he's still happily married to, while on a ship heading towards another adventure with newfound friends. She offered an olive branch, having been reborn and healed from the last time they met, and told him that she forgave him for his actions and gave him a special dragon scale, hence his taking the Drake Warden subclass, as a gift and perhaps a way to heal from his own trauma with dragons. Long story short, he was separated from his mentor by one chasing and attacking them, and Henry was forced to abandon his mentor. Henry did not forgive her, and told her that if he took this scale, that he wanted her to promise him something. Getting up in her face and making sure she looked him in the eyes as he spoke. "Leave me, my family, my future descendants, my friends, and my crew alone. Don't darken my doorstep again." She just smiled and replied before leaving, "Then I shall live in your head rent-free." In a game I ran, one of the characters found out that a skilled assassin whom the group had fought several times before was her father. She discovered that he had no idea. So in a one-on-one encounter, she sprung the information on him. He looked shocked, even going as far as to place a hand on his mouth, but not out of total surprise, but to stifle his laughter.
Incredible that you think it matters. Shared blood or not, I'm spilling it all the same.
Roll initiative. I once accidentally convinced a player that a character of zero import was secretly important somehow, because inspiration struck for an eloquent threat.
You will keep a civil tongue and cool your hot blood, or I will find a new home for both.
Why did that give me chills? In my campaign, the PCs are fighting against the forces of an evil tyrant king who took over the continent. So far, the king, King Luther, is away at war with another empire, the Iron Empire. They've been fighting his captains and commanders, helping the rebellion rise up against him. In the final battle, I planned for the following exchange to take place. There is a massive battle between the rebellion and King Luther's armies. And of course, the players break through the enemy lines to confront him. The guards prepare to defend him, but he scoffs at them and waves his hand dismissively. The attending captain, a lieutenant with blood magic who they allowed to escape by goofing up in his boss fight, tries to argue, but Luther insists. So the party is left going against him on a 4 versus 1. Luther draws his sword, scowls, and says,
"The Iron Empire put my father's head on a pike when I was but a boy. Now, when I am almost at my victory, how dare you deprive my revenge?"
Luther pauses, taking a long sigh. With a resigned look, he looks each PC in the eyes.
"I'd hope for your sons to know what I feel now. To have their purpose stolen from them. They'll have to settle for knowing their fathers as I did mine. A headless corpse on a pike."
Roll initiative. And I'm tearing up because of that one, because that actually got me. Whoa, I need more about King Luther. I've only had one campaign really come to a final battle where the endgame boss was a truly worthy villain. In my homebrew world, there's a race of people who created the world as a bit of a science experiment, and they use this world to experiment on races of people that they've created as well. The big bad of the campaign, a level 20 wizard, discovered this history of their world and was determined to bring those people to justice, even though killing the remaining members of that race would actually cause the destruction of the world. In the final battle, he had a few good lines. When he appeared after the party and the group of NPCs guarding the control room to the computer that controlled the entire planet's ecosystem had just finished killing his 100-strong army who tried to invade the facility prior to his rival,
"That was quite a welcoming party."
The conversation between him and one of the players continued.
"Did these people tell you what they did to us? How they pitted the races against each other for sport? Killed off the races they didn't felt deserved to live? Huh, tragic."
"They did. And you did it to others."
"Ah, yes, the classic argument. Yes, I did, but for a purpose. Just as these people claim they did what they did for a purpose. Yes. Every leader has a purpose for their actions. Only time and victory determine which reasons were good and which were not. History, and therefore mortality, is perception more than fact."
Later, another party member made a passive-aggressive threat towards the big bad evil guy. This character dual-wielded swords, so the big bad looked at him and said,
"Dear boy, put those away, for your own sake. We wouldn't want you to have an accident." "I shall not let you fall here. You still have further to go, so stand up, hero, stand up, get up. Today is not your final day."
The big bad had come to save the party after they had unknowingly rescued his dad. So he felt honor-bound to repay the favor and ended up stomping the red dragon turned Dracolich into non-existence. He was a very much "only I can kill you" villain. Planning a difficult vampire encounter against my 3 players. He'll target the 2 characters who aren't clerics first. Should they die, the vampire will toss 2 diamonds towards the cleric.
"Go on, revive them. I'll wait. I'm not done playing yet."
I have several I haven't used yet, but here are some of my favorites. Evil King Big Bad.
"Astarta, I'm so sorry about what happened to your father, but he was getting too close to the truth of things,
and I couldn't let that happen. I'm certain you understand. Underling to a cult leader, big bad evil guy, and twin of one of the PCs. Why? After everything I gave, everything I sacrificed, why does fate still favor you? Fallen angel, big bad evil guy. You keep calling out to your friend Hannah and telling her to fight off my influence. But I'm afraid you're mistaken. I'm not simply possessing her. She's no longer here. She died long ago. And this is my new body. The only line a Ural had in my entire Frost Maiden campaign. The party had just survived a betrayal by an NPC loyal to a Ural and set off a device capable of dispelling the rime for a single day. As the sun set, they sat on a cliff and watched what they knew would be the last sunset anyone within dozens of miles would see for a long time. Just as the sun dipped below the horizon for the last time, con saves for everyone. All but the druid passed. Kind of fitting, since he wound up doing more to dismantle a Ural's plan than anyone else. A physical line of ice shot up his back as a chill wind blew hard on them. A still, calm, icy whisper was on his ear. You have my attention. I recall a mad wizard who hid his tower away within the far realms, went mad, and had been instilling terror across the material plane. We'd finally reached his tower within the far realms, and his first and only words we personally were told were, oh god, I can't even say this one. I'm going to unzip you, all of you, and use your skin to spin the spines of my tomes. Perish! It always stuck with me. I'm going to unzip you. What a visual. Yeah, I was in between like laughing and crying at that. I'm like, oh, that's clever, but that's also hilarious. It's a shame, really. All that running only ensured you'd die tired. One of the world's long recurring villains over multiple groups and years. He began as a mad scientist working on a way to combine vampirism with fey creatures, working together with our world's version of Strahd. He was also the villain that built the evil doll that has made a couple of these lists. He lost various parts throughout the battles with the heroes, replacing them with gnomish-built mechanical prosthetics. During the last Apocalypse War, he slipped into the mech plane to escape death, and returned to the world with a fully mechanized body 4,000 years later, present day in-game. The final showdown happened on his floating island lab miles above the sea. The players had captured his murder doll and released it on the villain. It hated its creator more than anything else. The rabid assassin doll knocked him out a hatch, and the two careened downward to certain death from the height of the fall. But the last thing he said as he tumbled outward was, "Commence download of consciousness to upgraded body." Hey everyone, Brian Von VA here, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to ring that bell, and of course to leave a comment down below telling us what your scariest or best lines were that a villain has said. All the love, we'll see you next time.